All right, let's get right into it. I'll put a mic up. Let me get the mic right. I think we good now. How's it going, family? It's Thursday. We almost to Friday. Thursday is one of my favorite days of the week. I really like Thursday. I feel like it's leading right into the weekend. You starting to really feel accomplished. You got a lot done over the week. And it's like, now it's time to really like just finish everything and get everything completed. So, you know, Thursday is one of my favorite days. And I'm happy to be here. I'm absolutely happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with y'all. If you can, hit the like button. That's very important. And then also like, share. And then if you got any opinions on anything that we're going to discuss today, feel free to comment and we can further deep dive into what you have to add. But I think the topic of this show is relationships. I think relationships is the topic. And there's all kinds of relationships. You have business relationships. We'll talk about that when we get to characters like Jimmy Kimmel. We have personal relationships. We have romantic relationships. And there's a lot of different variations along those. The one thing about relationships, though, that we are sure about is that they are extremely volatile. There's a lot of volatility in relationships, and we see it. They're very unstable. You know, you look at pretty much any relationship that's built usually comes to an end on every circumstance, and we're going to look at that from many different lenses. We're going to look at it from romantic all the way to business lenses and just realize that we have to figure out a way to keep relationships working. Because one thing I can say is that if you talk to most people, I mean like a high percentage of people, I would say almost everybody, if you ask them about a relationship that they started early on, like one of their first relationships, if that relationship is still active now, almost all of them will say, no, it's not. And that's across all spectrums of it. So I think we'll talk about some of the ways that we can maintain relationships and keep them going. Because one of our things is we always want to come up with solutions. And sometimes the solution is just to admit that there's not going to be basically a good solution to it, right? You got to say, look, this is pretty much going to end in disappointment. But, you know, sometimes that's where we got to get to with solutions. So I think that one of the things we have to do first, though, is get some lunch, because this is lunch and news with DotSale. So I have to feed y'all. What is on the menu today? Can you guess the origin? Mamma mia. I think that's like, is that how Italians talk? That's not typical, right? That's not typical. I'm thinking about video games right now. I'm thinking about video games. I really want to get on my Nintendo Switch. I want to play some video games and just kind of go into the weekend and start to just wind down and, you know, not think about working for a little bit because it's always on my mind. And I just want to go into an alternate universe. I think I'm gonna play Mario Odyssey this weekend. I'm gonna play Mario Odyssey. So I was thinking about Mamma Mia, and he's an Italian plumber that is also a superhero. But that's kind of what the meal is going to be on today that we're going to have. It is pasta Primavera. And you can see what it looks like here. There's a lot of different options that you got within this pasta. And as always, we are going to allow somebody to cook it up for us so we can get our meal prepared, and then we can enjoy while we go over the news. Let's get right into it. We got a YouTuber here, and his name is Matthew Augusta. Matthew Augusta is his name. You can see him right here. Looks like he got some cool tattoos, arm sleeve type tattoos going on. And he looks like he's very enthusiastic to show us this meal. So we're going to let him get right into it and show us how to make pasta Primavera. Specifically, he's making chicken pasta Primavera. Let's hear what we got to say. Oh, by the way, his channel name is Matthew Augusta. And at this time, he has 122,000 subscribers on his channel. Let's get him a few more so you can go over there and check his channel out and see what he's got going on.
Now what Primavera is, it's a pasta with fresh vegetables. Today we're making pasta Primavera. Now what Primavera is, it's a pasta with fresh vegetables. Really anything that's in season in your garden. Could be tomatoes, carrots, zucchini, asparagus, really anything that you have. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna add some grilled chicken to this Primavera to give it some nice protein. We're gonna make a nice creamy lemon sauce. I know you guys are gonna love it. So without further ado, let's get to cooking. We're gonna start this Primavera off by roasting up some vegetables. Now you could blanch them, you could grill your vegetables, you could just cook them in the pan. I like to roast them to give them some nice roasted flavor. So what I have here is some zucchini, asparagus, and some carrots that I just sliced up into bite-sized pieces. We're gonna season these vegetables.
All right, we got a lot of vegetables. Let's see how he seasons them.
Very simply, a little bit olive oil.
Olive oil.
Salt. And black pepper.
Very simple.
Mix here. Make sure everything's evenly spread out on our baking sheet. Now we're going into the oven set to 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes, or just until our vegetables start to soften slightly and have a nice roasted color. Get to season the other side. Give your chicken a nice massage.
Getting the chicken together.
Fire up the grill.
And if you want to go plant-based, there's plenty of plant-based options as far as the chicken. You know, you can still get the chicken with your pasta Primavera if you really want to. Plenty of options with the plant-based if you want to go that route.
We're going to grill these till they're nice and charred, and they're cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit internally. Then we're going to make the sauce.
Oh, he's going on the grill with it. He's going on the grill with it.
Yeah,
Matthew Augusta ain't playing. He ran outside, threw the chicken on the grill, came back into the kitchen, began preparing the sauce. We about to have a good lunch today, y'all. We about to have a good lunch today.
Little pinch of salt and black pepper right on the onions. Now after about 3 minutes or so, once the onions start to caramelize slightly and turn translucent, we're gonna add a little bit of chili flake for some heat and a few garlic cloves that we minced up earlier. Now this is optional, but I like to add a couple sprigs of thyme. You can also leave out the thyme, but I like the flavor that it gives. So if you have it laying around, go ahead and add a couple sprigs. Now after about 30 seconds or so, once you can start to smell the garlic, we're gonna add some just ever so slightly just to help them along.
No, move them along a little bit.
Potato masher, but just sauce quite a bit. Give it that Alfredo vibe. Now we're gonna.
That sauce is coming together. Nice. Oh, we putting the vegetables in now. All right, all right.
Go ahead and add the roasted vegetables right to the sauce. And our grilled chicken. Give us a nice stir till everything's combined here. Now we're gonna go in with about 8 ounces of
coming together nice.
Pasta. All we did was boil this to the instructions that was on the box. Now we're gonna add just a little bit of pasta water, a half a cup or so from when we boiled the pasta. Now we're gonna add about 4 tablespoons of butter to add even more richness to the dish. Hit it with a little bit of parsley.
It's a lot of butter.
Finish with some fresh basil leaves. I love basil, it's my favorite herb. Tear it like a 90-year-old grandmother.
All right.
So at this point, we can go ahead and fish out our thyme stems. There's 3 of them. You got to count. You got to make sure you know how many are in there. Now we're going to turn off the heat and we're going to let that butter gently melt into the sauce. And then we're ready to go ahead and serve this up. Look how creamy that is. It smells amazing. Make sure you get plenty of our chicken, plenty of veggies, a little bit more freshly grated Parmesan cheese right on top. A little bit of parsley there.
Parmesan on top.
Always good to save the baby basil leaves for garnish. Makes the dish look beautiful. A little bit of black pepper on there. Just a little drizzle of some leftover lemon juice and the fat from the cream.
And you see he's got the wine with it because, you know, when you eating Italian food, you got to have some type of wine with it. So it's like he got the wine right there. Yeah, we eating good. We eating good today, y'all. But let's get one more look at it real quick. got a really good presentation. So that's it. That is our lunch for today. What do y'all think about that? I like it. I like it.
Always good to see.
So y'all enjoy lunch as we get to this news. What are we gonna get into first? I think we gotta start with Jimmy. I'm trying to see what the topic we want to go. I think let's go free speech. Let's talk free speech a little bit within this whole Jimmy Kimmel situation. Actually, let me go off. Let me take it off. Let's go black. Let's go back to color. Let's get into the Jimmy Kimmel situation and see exactly what's going on with him, and then we're gonna follow up. I think we'll go Cardi B after this, and then we'll close out with Bhad. We're gonna close out with Bhad Bhabie, because the Bhad Bhabie situation is crazy. So it's like that's gonna be the most hectic, and then as always, we're gonna finish on a positive note. After we get through all this insanity, we're gonna finish on a positive note with a positive story to finish our day. I got a really good one. That's always a surprise at the end of the show, so I can't tell you what that is, but I got a really good positive story at the end. Let's jump right into this news article and just kind of get an update on what's going on, and then we'll discuss. See what we got. Yeah, let's go here. We'll actually get Jimmy Kimmel's what actually got him fired.
Suspended Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely over comments that he made on his show Monday night about Charlie Kirk's death.
Hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
The suspension comes after Nexstar announced that its ABC affiliates would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live. Nexstar called the comments, quote, offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse. A spokesperson for ABC said, quote, Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. Today, Federal Communications Commission Chair Brendan Carr blasted Kimmel's remarks and said the FCC has, quote, remedies it could look at. Nexstar currently.
So what they're basically saying is that Jimmy did it at the wrong time. And that's my thing is like, does it matter when? So if something happened a year ago, now it's okay to make these same comments? We're actually going to talk about that a little bit when we kind of compare and contrast this to what was happening in the pandemic, when it was kind of like the opposite of this, with as far as the types of people that were condemning it. Even Jimmy Kimmel had some different types of comments on people that were against like vaccinations and stuff like that. So it's one of the things that we can kind of gauge it on and see kind of what the differences are. We got a couple of responses though from some of his fellow peers as far as comedians. I think we have some naysayers too that responded. Let's see this video and kind of go into that a little bit. We got Trump here.
It's happening. Jimmy Kimmel has been muzzled and taken off the air by his network ABC, who are buckling to and trying to appease the Nexstar media conglomerate, who have a lot of affiliates, and they threatened to preempt him at the suggestion of the SEC chair. This is government censorship. This is the Trump administration coming after people who speak out against him.
I was supposed to go over and have a chat with my friend Jimmy Kimmel on his show, but as you have heard by now, the Jimmy Kimmel show has been pulled indefinitely, abruptly, because of complaints from the Trump administration. So let's see. He didn't end the Ukraine war or solve Gaza within his first week, but he did end freedom of speech.
What do you make of it, Jason?
Well, it's troubling to say the least, and we all have to really take a moment and figure out how we feel about this type of thing, especially, you know, people doing what you do. But I imagine there's plenty of conversations going on to do something, because you just can't stand by and let stuff like that go on.
Stuff like?
Well, Jimmy getting his show pulled for, you know, freedom of speech.
Let's see. Ben Stiller says this isn't right. All right. Ben Stiller doesn't like it. Okay. He talked about, I agree, but where were you during COVID? Oh, that's right. You didn't say ish. Okay. And what else? I thought they had some people that were on his side. Is this all against, or that were against him? Horrified. Okay, these are everybody that's with Jimmy. I thought we had some people that oppose Jimmy.
But I believe he was a man of faith. And I hope in that moment when he died that he felt connected to his faith.
And that's Stephen Colbert, or Colbert, however you say it. And he was pulled, but he'll get to continue a show through next year, I believe. And then he'll be done for sure. It feels like the late night comedy shows, they really reached their peak kind of at a time when I think Conan O'Brien was out, Jay Leno, guys like that, David Letterman. Is Letterman still on? I don't think Letterman's still on. I think that was like their peak, and I feel like they've always been on a decline. Some are saying that Jimmy Kimmel was on his way out anyways, and they were just waiting for a reason to fire him. But if that's the case, then they could have fired him for anything or stopped the show for anything the same way they did with Colbert. But I guess they found that they got to strike when the iron's hot, and, you know, Jimmy was yanked. So effective immediately, he was taken off the air. And, you know, for me, I had to go ahead and see what was going on. So we went and tried to turn his show on yesterday, something that I've never done. But when I looked, I seen Steve Harvey in his place, and I was like, they're gonna have, because what if Steve Harvey got a late night show? I think Steve could do it. I think Steve could do it. And I think we have one more video. Let me see. Is this, what do we got here?
That breaking news tonight, ABC is pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. The decision to pull the late night show comes after Kimmel's comments during his monologue on Monday night about the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk. Tonight, President Trump praised the move by ABC to pull Kimmel from the air. NBC4's Robert Kovacic live right now in Hollywood, where Jimmy Kimmel just left the El Capitan Theater. Robert.
Colleen, it is busy out here in Hollywood tonight.
Did they stop him mid-show? Like he was just about to shoot a show, and then they're like, nah. Like they ain't even call him when he was at home.
It's always busy in Hollywood right now. We've got a premiere on one side of the street, outside of the Chinese Theater, and here outside of Jimmy Kimmel Live, a protest is just starting to form here with people demanding the return of Jimmy Kimmel. It has been, again, a pretty chaotic couple of hours here in the front and the back of the studio where it is filmed. But at 6:19 this evening, as we show you this video, NBC captured Jimmy Kimmel leaving Jimmy Kimmel Live and the studios here. This is the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, the only late night West Coast show. And here it is, Jimmy Kimmel leaving this evening. We believe that is his wife as well, leaving with him Molly. And the two of them then took off. And just about 45 minutes before that, we also saw Guillermo, his sidekick on the show, who I actually...
What are they saying? Jimmy Kimmel stay, Trump must go? They're not even in the same, they're not even in the same category. Like, Trump is the president of the United States. Jimmy Kimmel runs a late night show. Like, pulling one doesn't affect the other, does it? I don't know.
Actually spent some time with recently at the Emmy Awards just days ago. He was in great spirits. Guillermo also leaving the premises. So the indications here were, Colleen, when we got here, we just didn't know how long they had been inside of these studios when they actually learned that the show had been put on hold indefinitely. But the answer came pretty quickly when we did see a number of staff members coming in and out. And as you look at the video right here, you can see they closed up the gates to Jimmy Kimmel Live. They've locked the doors, they've locked the gates. And again, the show on hold indefinitely. Live in Hollywood, I'm Robert Cavallo. Just didn't know.
This right here is actually the saddest part of it all to me, man. They got Guillermo. Out of everybody that didn't need to lose their job, Guillermo, I know 100% that everybody, this is one thing we can all come together on. There's absolutely no reason you get rid of Guillermo. No. And I'll actually say this. Okay, you want to pull Jimmy off? Fine. Replace him with Guillermo right now. The show could go on. Let Guillermo step up in his place. When they fire head coaches in any major sport, who's the first person to step up? The interim head coach will always be usually the assistant head coach. Guillermo's basically like his assistant. Let Guillermo step up in his place. Keep the show going. And they didn't do that, and Guillermo is looking a bit confused right now as he steps out of the studios. And, you know, but this is one of the fallouts. This is one of the fallouts, and they do it with the president too. You know, anything with the president, then, you know, the vice president steps up. But this is the fallout though, and just to get on the free speech, freedom of speech topic, it is true that you have freedom of speech. We all do. I can say anything I want right now. There's nobody stopping me at all. I can say anything I want. The problem is that what I do say can have ramifications and consequences, and some can be a lot more than others. Just my thing is this. That's the cost benefit analysis that you have to make when you're making these decisions. And also when you work for somebody. ABC is a very strict company. They're owned by Disney, ABC. And Disney basically is represented by a cartoon mouse. So it's like, when you think about it, you have to be very careful with the things that you say. But again, like, this is nothing new for Jimmy, which makes this all seem a bit weird to me, because this is kind of what they promoted up to this point as far as Jimmy. He's not done much differently, and they've always mocked the president and certain people that he is affiliated with. And to give him some credit, they kind of usually mock all political figures. They're a little more lighthearted with some. They've mocked guys like Biden and Kamala Harris at times too. But, you know, at this point, I guess it just went too far, and Jimmy's done for. So my thing is this. What are we doing with free speech? What are we doing with the line? Like, because this line is kind of invisible, right? Like, we don't really know where it starts and where it ends. I mean, I think there's obvious things. Kids should never be a part of anything negative. I think family's off limits. If you're not in a public eye, you should probably not be criticized publicly. So anybody that keeps themselves off of the internet for the most part, doesn't plaster their face on the internet, I don't think they should be subject to public criticism. And I think anything that has to do with threatening or inciting violence should be off limits. But I think everything else is kind of just like whatever, like to a point. But there's just that gray line in between all of this. So now you're seeing guys like Jimmy being the biggest yet to be fired, and this has reverberated among just the average people. I could pull up probably about 1,000 videos on TikTok where multiple people have lost their jobs for comments similar to the ones that Jimmy made. Probably much more harsh. And we're seeing this all the way from Microsoft execs to people that just work at, Taco Bell are being fired at alarming rates, nurses, different things like that. And so it's kind of like the opposite of what was happening during 2020 and that time where, it seems like, because let's be honest, there's two sides, right? It's like we're basically a country divided, almost split down the middle. The presidential election will tell you that. So now I'm just figuring that, the pendulum swinging possibly. And the one thing you have to understand about this is that it's going to swing back, right? And I don't really know what to make of this overall. I do want to hear what y'all have to say about it. I think it's a very interesting topic and definitely something we had to talk about because I'm not really sure how far this is going to go. I'm not sure how far this is going to go because, people would think that a guy like Jimmy is untouchable, but, he got touched. He got touched. And I don't think it's going to stop here. Situations like this get much worse before they get better. That's what we know. That's what we're sure about. And we're going to leave it at that. We got to move on, though. We got to move on. And we got to talk about this Cardi B situation. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to go into the Bhad Bhabie situation first. We're going to go Cardi B. We're going to save Cardi B. We're going to go into the Bhad Bhabie situation. Let's do that one now. Let's do that one. Which one is, let's see. What is that one? I think that should be, is that this one? Yeah, let's go here. Let's go to Bhad Bhabie first. We're going to save Cardi for last. I think this is a better build-up into that. We're going to watch some videos of Bhad Bhabie and just kind of see some of the more controversial things that she's been through at different times in her career. And this one actually dates back to 2019 where she got into it with Travis Barker's daughter and they got into a fight. And this all lead up into the most recent situation where we're going to see her completely crash out. I would probably say yet again and possibly for the fifth time. I actually covered her before in almost an hour-long video where we covered one of her interviews. And we'll look at that a little bit too. But let's get into this first one and see what we got going on. We got it.
In my life.
I think we got it right here.
What are you doing? Get off my... Yeah, came here and got beat up. Now you finna go... Who got beat up? Bitch, get off! Your ass beat. You stupid, bro. You came here and got beat up. You dumb in here. Why you going up? That'll be... That's so crazy! I'm slating your ass. Wait! You gotta let me get to you! You finna skate, son. You crazy, bitch! That's
Bro, we ain't having that in here, bro. We not finna have that shit in here, bro. We not finna have that shit in here, bro. But still, bro.
Stop.
Yeah. And this is why you always got to catch the live stream, because more than likely I might have to cut this part out at some point. So it's like the live stream is always going to be the most lit. Let's go into one more. I think this one actually might have preceded that fight. Did they fight twice? I think this one was before that. All in the same time frame, 2018, 2019. Check this one out.
What is wrong with you? Okay, please. Calm down, Nigga, a pussy, boy. You a pussy.
You can't do nothing. Y'all get so tough.
Is that little Tay, bro? How did she get involved? This might be a. Hold on. Is this the? You can see the kind of ratchetness, a lot of people will call it, that is going on with Bhad Bhabie. She kind of stays in controversy, a lot of violence and different things going on within her circle. And so I actually covered her maybe more than once, at least once though. It was a long time ago. I hardly remember that. I had to go back and even see what I was looking at. So this is one of my videos, and this is gonna lead into what we're gonna talk about as far as her boyfriend. You can see me right there. This is when I still had the long hair. The long hair like Jesus. I had the hair like Jesus. That's how Jesus' hair looked. That's how they described it, like wool. They said his hair was like wool. The pictures that we see don't necessarily represent that. But if you look at the description that's in the actual Bible, they said like skin of bronze. I mean, all right, let me stop. All right, let's get into this. Let's check. When did I put this out? Oh, this is only about 4 months ago. Yeah, it's about 4 months ago. The comments were going crazy on this video, by the way. All right, let's look at the first minute of it.
I didn't leave him because I would never find what I have with him in anybody else. And it's gotten so much better. It's like a whole different ball game. And it's like, I always think about it like, damn, if I would have left, I'd be missing out on this.
But then it's also like the opposite end of the things could be like, what happens if, like it's not even about you leaving him? What if it's the other way around? Like, it's just, I want you to be happy. I want you to feel loved. I want your daughter to feel loved. I don't know what it's like to be a mom.
I went through so much shit with my mom. My mother has done unspeakable things to me. You know what people say? Even online. That's your mom. That's your mom. Why don't people say that's your man?
Oh. Okay. So because you're not blood, so because he's not your blood, you have to put up with it.
Even tied with a child.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Like your mom could do unspeakable things and you have to tolerate it or forgive.
Wow. So you see that video, yeah. Hour and 16 minutes. I don't know how I talked about this for an hour and 16 minutes, but I did somehow. And this video is really fun, actually. Might go back and watch it later on. But she made some really good points in this video. And I actually was more siding with her at that time. And, maybe I'm still siding with her. I think we're going to get to that as we continue to go on. There was a couple points that I want to bring up before we get into the most recent situation that's going on with Bhad Bhabie, and I got it here. We're just going to go to 2 points in the vid, or 3 points, I think. I got 3? I got at least 2. Let's go at least 2, and let's see some of the things she says so we can kind of lead into what's going on. We'll start here.
At the end of the day, do what feeds
And it's like,
your soul, makes you happy.
I am so happy that I didn't leave him because I would never find what I have with him in anybody else. And it's gotten so much better. It's like a whole different ball game. And it's like, I always think about it like, damn, if I would have left, I'd be missing out on this.
But then it's also like the opposite end of the things could be like, what happens if, like it's not even about you leaving him? What if it's the other way around? Like, it's just, I want you to be happy. I want you to feel loved. I want your daughter to feel loved. I don't know what it's like to be a mom. I know what it's like to be a woman, but like, I've never been in your shoes and I admire how strong you are. And I want like
people don't look at like Callie would be raised by a single mother. I would probably take me a long time to get in a new relationship. Like,
Yeah, I think that was some of the things. Like she was really like saying some things that I think most women wouldn't say, but then also like mainstream just normal people would be like, absolutely not. And they'd be like on full Karen mode on some of the things that she's saying. And so I thought like a lot of the stuff that was said by her in this interview actually made me look at her in a different light. I had, I think I got 2 more clips. Let me go to, is it 2940? I think I got 2940.
It would just make people understand, it would make people understand, like, okay, I see people, people might hear things I did to him and question why he's with me.
I think it goes both ways.
It does. You heard things I've fucking done to him. I've done a lot of fucked up ass shit to him.
Hurt people, you know what I mean?
He did the exact same thing I did. He let me see the fire was hot, realize the shit I was doing, realize how the shit was. It's still shit I do.
Have you guys ever considered therapy?
Yeah,
I know. I'm not saying that's like, I'm not an insult.
Yeah, and I remember this one because the interviewer, like every time she was about to say something that was like her doing something wrong, she basically stopped her. Like, nah, don't let it seem like we do anything wrong. And she was just pouring her heart out and saying, like, basically, like, to be honest, like, I'm not a good person in this relationship 100%, and we're both making mistakes. And if people actually knew what I did behind the scenes, they probably look at me a little bit differently. And I thought it was a really open interview by her. I got one more? Let me see if I got one more. Let's just check this one out. I'm not sure what this one is. Was it 50? Let's see what this one is.
He's done. But just because I had a black eye once and he cheated on me means I should leave him forever and break up a family?
But that to me should have, like, I'm not, like, that's so sad to even hear, though. Like, regardless of how you guys treat each other, that should never be up for public discretion. Like, if you're putting that out there, of course people are going to be like, oh my God, Danielle,
so
get the
that's
fuck
another
away
thing
from him.
is
you know
like,
what I mean?
That's another thing. When everything was going on, I already knew, and I'll explain this to you in a second, but I had already knew about him in Alabama. I had just learned.
So this was, this is about 3 months ago. Yeah, that makes sense. So this is about 3 months ago, and she had this interview where it kind of just explained a lot about what was going on in her relationship. And this was the follow-up maybe like a month or two after she put out a video on her own of her being assaulted by him. And again, you're probably only going to get this on live, where he took her out and I'll just show you the damage right here. You can see the damage right here of what happened. So this is, and you'll see it right here. I actually pull this up. So if you look over to the right, you can see this is where it happened. They're fighting. He takes her down, right? So this is gonna lead up into, and I think, who's got it? Academics got it? All right, we're gonna go to academics for this. So that happened, and that was probably, man, what was that, like 2 years ago? A year ago? Something like that? Where they got into that situation, and she went back to him. They got back together after that. And I think that was just shortly after their kid was born. And then, like, here they are now, current time. This is like now, like today, like yesterday, like right now, where after everything she said in the previous interview where she's like never leaving them, staying together, she's now saying this. So it's like, and this is gonna lead into the crazy video where she's on top of the car and he's in, I believe to be an Escalade, driving it with her on the hood of the car. Let's see what she got to say here. It kind of gets a little graphic.
I am not dealing with this man no more ever again in my life. I went through so much shit trying to love this person. I went through so much shit trying to understand this person. I went through so much shit. I have suffered so much trying to deal with this man. much pain. My stomach keeps like, it feel like I'm having fucking contractions. Like, and I can say that because I had a baby. I know what they feel like. Like, it was all like in my lower back and right here. It was just hurting so bad. And I see him. He was like hiding in the bushes. Like, I could not see him. Now I see him walking across Ventura, walking across the car. And I stand up and I go, Levon, get in the car. And then I go like this and I'm like, oh, Levon. Like, and I had already had some light spotting. And my doctor had told me that was normal. And to keep a liner on to see how much blood like comes out, so you know if you have to like go to the doctor or not, because you could have spotting in early pregnancy. And she said just to monitor with a liner.
All the humanity.
Let's keep going.
So it was like very, very like this was like a big clot of blood, and I could see the little seed thing. He sees the blood, he's like, then he gets in the car. He's quiet for a little while, and I'm just driving home and I'm crying. I never had a miscarriage before, so I'm just like, oh my God, like this didn't even have to happen to me. Like, if I wasn't stressed, having a fucking panic attack because I was stuck in the car by myself and couldn't move the car, like none of this would have happened. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. I got Cali and Rome. I don't give a fuck. You need to learn self-control. I really thought the next day he was gonna feel bad. No, he didn't feel bad. He's talking about it was a free abortion. I never said I was having an abortion. I don't know. I just would never have an abortion. He's hit me at least 500 times. He's spit on me. Well over that. Levon is the first and only person to ever spit on me, spit in my face at all. The first time this man spit in my face, I was pregnant. And it was because I caught him DMing a girl in vanish mode. If you are sleeping with him or having any sexual
DMing a girl in
activity
vanish
with him,
mode.
He has a very strong, or I don't know what the word is, a very complex variant of herpes. Sometimes once after the last, like one after another, and he will fuck you with it.
Or are you just so old and ugly that you can't hear anymore?
Levon's got herpes. That's what I learned. And my thing is this, right? And this is probably one of the bigger issues before we go into the we're going to the climax of all this, where she completely loses her mind on the hood of his car, is that she actually, and you don't really see this very often. If it's one thing about Bhad Bhabie that I will always give, that I have given her credit for, is that I do believe that she's real. Crazy, insane, very, very possible. I mean, from what we've observed, I mean, that's absolutely the case. But I can't not say that she's not real. I don't really think that she lies a lot as far as what she puts out. Now, in certain times, she probably does tell lies, because if we look at the interview, and that's why we preface this with things that she said in the past, as far as, if you knew the things I've done to him, then you'd wonder why he's with me, which is, this is not a one-sided violent relationship. He's hit her 500 times. She's probably thrown glasses at his face, broken his things, crashed out on him multiple times. So this is absolutely not a one-sided thing. And what I'll give her credit for is she usually explains the wrong that she does within it. And I think that's a positive to any relationship. We're going to try to come to a conclusion on what a solution could be for these two after all of this. But first, we got to get to the finale of all of it, where she completely loses her mind and ends up on the hood of a car. And it's the viral video that's going around right now. Let's check it out. Let's refresh real quick at the sound. I think I can blow it up.
It's a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
Is that is a Cadillac Escalade, ain't it?
Are you looking safe? Free child place holidays available. 22 kilos. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £100 off for a family of 4.
Jenny, get off the car. Are you looking safe?
Free child place holidays available with 22 kilos.
So we're just gonna let this. I'm gonna take the sound off, and I'm just gonna let it just continue to loop while we discuss. We're just gonna let it loop. Let's get it right there in frame, and we'll just let this loop, just cause, just why not? Like, I don't really know what to say at this point. Like, and a lot of this really goes to the fact of, well, these two, they have a child together. We don't know where the kid is at this point. Could be in the back of the truck, hopefully in a car seat. Could be with family members, but they are the primary care providers for the kid. So this is going to be a little bit dangerous to have this much volatility going on between these two. And, you know, as far as I know, like, he doesn't say very much publicly, although he is somewhat of a, but he doesn't really communicate about her publicly like she does with him. So we don't really get his side of the story very often. It's just kind of crazy. But and then also, how do these videos be getting out? Like, who is the girl that's recording the video? Cause she's basically, like, you could hear her, like you hear her right here.
Jenny, get off the car. Are you looking safe?
So just calls her out, tells her she looks insane, and then proceeds to upload the video. And I guess this is for them to basically say, oh, well, look at how crazy she is. But then you also got the video of him beating her up in front of their house. So it's like, she puts this out, and then now, you know, you can look at some of the comments over here on the side of the video where everybody's just kind of laughing at this situation. But my thing is, like, everybody that's laughing at this situation, well, there's two sides to it. I've been through some crazy relationships, so I'm not necessarily going to get into some of the situation. Maybe I'll have a breakdown at some point. If I get interviewed, I would talk about a lot of the stuff I've been through. It's not necessarily, it doesn't make a lot of sense to talk about it in the context of me doing these shows, because they go on into topics that are kind of unrelated. But it would explain more of the psychology of what's going on in her head and what's going on in his head, because I've experienced a lot of these volatile situations. She said she mentally unstable. Yeah, she's mentally unstable. But I'm actually of the thought process that there's really no cure for this type of insanity when it comes to somebody and it's in their mind. Like, there's no cure for it, I should say. I would say that you can manage it, but you can't necessarily cure this. So this is just something that she's going to continue to go through until she can grow out of it. And usually there has to be a life-changing experience that goes along with it. So yeah, mentally unstable, that's true. But I think a lot of that just comes with probably age as well. I think that as she continues to get older, she'll start to make different decisions. And it actually goes into the last part of what we're going to talk about. And we're going to move on from Bhad Bhabie. We spent too much time on this. And really, when I think about it, when I was looking at the video that I spent over an hour breaking down her interview, where she talked about a lot of the relationship that she had with him, is that, you know, but she's very interesting. She's very interesting. And, you know, I think that her situation with him is going to last for at least minimum another 2 years where they're like still together. And then I would say 2 years, I think they'll break up completely in about 2 years. That's just a prediction. I'm just looking at the timeline. Usually a lot of these things, you can kind of predict timelines on how things are going to play out. And that kind of goes into our final, as far as, let me do something real quick. Let me get that. And that kind of goes into our final story. That is Cardi B, because Cardi B has had a lot of ups and downs in her relationships, I guess. Most notably with Offset, where they had a relationship that everybody celebrated it, and it was good when it was at its peak, but it's been terrible ever since. The falling action has started, and they've been probably one of the most up and down situations that we've seen. I would say in hip hop, probably in hip hop specifically, not overall, but definitely in hip hop. And they've went back and forth at each other a lot online, similar to what Bhad Bhabie has done. Only you actually see Offset go back at Cardi B a lot of the times, whereas most of the time you only see reactions from one side. So when we look at this situation with Cardi B, and now that she's moved on from a situation that was crazy with Offset, you'll see her starting to celebrate a new relationship with Stephon Diggs. And the question for this is, Cardi B is finally happy for now, and how long does this last for? Let's get into this last story before we get into our positive story to close out the day. I think this is the first one we're supposed to see. Let me refresh it, and then let's watch.
Diggs, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How are you feeling about that? And that this will be baby number 4 for you, Cardi.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm actually I'm excited. I'm happy. I feel like I'm in a good space. I feel very strong. I feel very powerful that I'm doing all this work, but I'm doing all this work while I'm creating a baby. Me and my man, we're very supportive of each other. We're like in the same space in our careers, but like in different,
By that, what do you mean by that same space?
Definitely taking shots at Offset, trying to basically say, and this is passive aggressive, coded, where she's basically saying Offset he's not popping no more. The Migos ain't even making music anymore. They lost Amigo at this point. It was the 3 Amigos. Now it's the Deuce Amigos. And so she's basically saying, yo, like, Stephon Diggs, he's hot right now. He's getting money. He's running around. He's at the height of his career. He's possibly still hasn't even entered his prime yet. And that's where Cardi B feels like she's at. She's promoting the album that's about to come out. She's pregnant. She's definitely using that to leverage a different audience. And she's definitely, like, you look at the football couples. You got Taylor Swift that decided to get with Travis Kelce when he was at the peak of his career, winning Super Bowls with Mahomes, and quite possibly could win another one this year, although I believe they started out 0-2. So might be a little bit more difficult for the Chiefs, Mahomes and Kelce. But look at Cardi B, and she's basically with Stephon Diggs now, and she's leveraging that to definitely boost her career.
Space that you're both doing well? What do you mean?
You know what it is? That I feel like we're really great and one of the best at what we do. And me and him think the same way. Like, it's like, yeah, we're one of the greatest, but what's next? What we doing again? We do it again. We have to do it again all the time. It's not like we're never like comfortable. We just want to keep doing it. And that's just how we both are. My boyfriend, Stephon Diggs.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, that loop. Let's check out the other video real quick, and then we'll talk about it. I'm going to refresh it, though. I don't know where it's at.
Right, you kept telling me.
And I hate that Instagram don't have a slider on here. Like, every video should have a slider. Does anybody know why some videos have a slider, some don't? It's annoying because I can't like slide back and forth. Got to play the whole video over.
Me like, I should have fun. Yes. And we had a little bit of too much fun, and now I'm here. I'm here. We had too much fun. And yeah, we're very excited. We're very
and you're
happy.
both happy.
All the time.
And you're both happy about it.
Yes, we're very
But
happy.
I'm happy for you to see you this happy because we all know you went through a very messy divorce with Offset. Were you worried about opening your heart up again or falling in love again or even dating again? Were you concerned about that?
Yes. And one thing about like dating, like it's like when you date, you feel like you're like 16 again. And I don't really.
Well, you want to feel like you're 16. You want to meet somebody that makes you feel like that.
You do, but then it's like you also remember what you dealt with when you were 16. So it's like restarting again.
Well, that part, yeah.
Yeah.
And vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. And like one time he just told me like, it's like, let me heal you. Give me a chance for me to heal you. And it's like, okay.
He said, let me heal you?
Mm-hmm.
Is the baby, I'm not asking for your due date, but is baby coming this year or next?
It's coming before my tour.
Before your tour? When's your tour?
In February.
Whoa, Cardi.
Yeah.
You're going to go on tour in February?
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm very ready.
What,
even when I'm pregnant, I'm very, very ready.
Tell me about that.
Because I'm getting my body ready. Like I stretch it out. I stretch. So as soon as I give birth, tour rehearsal starts. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't come from weak women.
You don't?
No.
There is nothing weak about you.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing weak about her. And you remember, she's taking multiple shots at Offset. And Stefon Diggs, a lot of the times you don't really see the guys come out and say much about relationships. It's usually the women that talk about these things. There was a picture at one point where Offset's son, she made his braids. This is Offset's kid. When she first got with Stefon Diggs, he has like the braids in his head and all that. And she did Offset's son's kids' braids to look like Stefon Diggs' braids. Yeah, I know it's a little weird, right?
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
So she did that, and Offset's taking shots at her, more a little bit subliminal than what Cardi's done. So this brings up a point of, because you hear like the glee that she has for Stefon Diggs is the same glee that she once had for Offset. When they first got together, everything was perfect. It was all sunshine and rainbows and butterflies and flowers. Chocolate coated candy houses and pools of orange soda. If you don't like orange soda, we can go grape. Pools of grape soda, strawberry soda. But then something changed. And the allure went away. And all of a sudden, they began to hate each other. Even though they had 3 children together, they could no longer coexist. No longer coexist. Now, I believe that Offset took the time to see if he can get child support out of Cardi B. But I think she has most of the custody, so that kind of fell through for him. It's a lot going on with these situations. But my thing is this. If we look at the beginning of something, can we ever see what the possible ending would be? Do you see somebody like Stephon and Cardi B staying together? That's one of the questions that we have. Stefon Diggs had a situation where they were early in a relationship, as far as we know, and he was on a boat, allegedly powdering his nose with a whole bunch of women.
Oh my God, I fucking hate myself right now.
And Cardi B had to go and defend herself. Assuming this was before or right around the time she got pregnant. This was probably, let me see what she say. She said the baby's coming before February in 9 months. So yeah, she probably got pregnant, like June-ish or something like that. I'm guessing. I think that's around 9 months. And she's happy now. And is that all that matters, right? It's just about now. Does the future even have anything to do with our future? Do we ever think, like, how is this going to work out 20 years from now? Or is it just all about now? Because they jumped into this relationship and had a kid extremely fast. No marriage involved, nothing like that. And I'm truly wondering how this one is going to play out. But I guess we'll figure that out eventually. But if y'all got any ideas on that, I would like to hear, family. We're about to hit our time constraints, so we're going to have to move into our final story of the day. And of course, it's always going to be on a positive note, because we're never ending off with all this drama and all this hurt and all this pain and all this domestic violence. So now we have to look up and see students celebrating a teacher that made it to 100 years old. 100. And the crazy thing about this story is this teacher is still, like, moving around. Like, at 100, she's still, like, understanding what's going on. She's walking, looks like she's in relatively good shape. I actually know some people that are probably half the age of her that don't even have the capacity that she does. Let's go into this story, though, and see what's going on. This one should really make you feel good. And if it doesn't, then you have some evil that you need to get out of your heart, because this should do something. This should touch you. This should make you feel warm inside. If you feel anything, any anger, any hate, any anything like that, then you have some problems that you need to begin to work out within yourself.
Made sure that one longtime teacher got the celebration of a lifetime, and we're talking about a really long one.
Right. WLWT News 5's Megan Mitchell went to a senior living home in Loveland where a love for teaching spans generations.
Milford students have decorated the walls. They've brought cards and posters, all to get ready for this big surprise of the former Milford teacher, Lou Scott.
Happy birthday to you.
No one expects to live to 100. But Lou Scott definitely didn't expect the birthday reception she got from friends, family, and Milford schools.
Lou Scott.
I'm in shock. I can't imagine that all these lovely people are here and that.
I mean, look at that. Still got all her teeth. And them look like the original teeth she had 100 years ago. Well, I guess probably more around like 90 years ago. I guess you got to lose your baby teeth. Then you start to begin to get your... When do you get your permanent teeth? It was around like 13 you should be done with all your permanent teeth, somewhere around there. Them is 87-year-old teeth still looking like they intact. Face pretty clear. I mean, that's incredible. Like, you got to give her credit. She did something right. It wasn't luck.
I get to say thank you to all of them.
Lou spent decades as a teacher at Milford Middle School. So today, students in the Teaching Professions Academy at Milford High School gave her a grand reception there.
The main reason I want to be a teacher is to bring other people joy, especially like how Miss Scott over there.
And look at this. Inspiring the youth. She absolutely is somebody that should be looked upon as inspiration just based off of what you're visibly able to see. And then when you have an opportunity to have a conversation with her, you can probably get loads of experience from what she's been through. I mean, she went through so many different historical points. Like, I mean, I'd like to have a conversation with her. Me personally, if I could sit down with her for an hour, I would be very grateful of her time. 100%. And I would get the most out of it.
there did. Like, she was able to bring so many people joy for so long.
Once an eagle, always an eagle.
Also in attendance, her former principal.
She was just a wonderful individual, but really an
Wait, how old is he? They just said former principal. This has to be, they mean her boss? Like, she was a teacher and he was the principal as far as her boss? Or do they mean that he's like 145 years old and he was her principal when she was in elementary? That was very confusing. He could be 145 years old. He could. It's possible.
individual, but really an excellent teacher.
Lou says she loves spreading joy, and there's not much difference between now and years ago.
We're just as young as we're 40. It's okay. Because the only thing is that you might have some help.
Because really, what we all want out of life, no matter.
And we all need help. We're better together than we are apart.
No matter how long or short, is to enjoy the ride.
This all tells me that I'm having a wonderful time and life is good.
Now, I did ask Lou what the secret was to living to be 100. She tells me staying busy, being in community, playing games. But at the end,
it's all I need to hear. Everybody that said that you shouldn't be playing games, you're a big kid. I like to play games. And I have a chance to be 100 years old because of it. But I want to be 100 years old like Lou. Like, I don't want to be 100 years old, decrepit, like messed up, beat up, like in an old folks home, can't even move, eating through a tube and all that. If I ain't like Lou, I don't even want to live to be 100. I'm going to be honest with you. If I could be like Lou at 100, yeah, I will live to be 100 for certain. This story was incredible. Shout out to Lou. Shout out to the people that celebrated her, that are showing her love and keeping her alive. And honestly, being around youth, which a lot of people say, oh, you know, I don't want to have kids. I don't like kids. They're expensive. They're nuisances. They're little demon spawns. Kids keep you young. You stay around kids, you'll stay young. The second you remove yourself from the youth and start to become disconnected, I feel like you age rapidly and your demise comes a lot sooner than it should have. We got to go. How was lunch? Was lunch good? I liked it. I liked it personally. It's a crazy show. I gotta get out of here though. I probably should have stopped the show like 20 minutes ago, but it's fine. I like hanging out with y'all. I really love hanging out with y'all, family. Like, share, comment, subscribe, the Big Four. We do this every day of the week. We don't miss. We might not be on time. I don't care if we gotta do it at 2 in the morning. We're gonna get the show done. And I think it's good. I think it's good. I don't know what Friday has in store. I haven't even thought about it yet. Appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your day.